What do you or the president know about UFOs? Can you share? I hear that the president has something in the queue to share with us about all of this. Now, truth be told, I'm trying to remember how long ago it was. It may have been right after he left office.
Good morning, UFO. Not alone, signal strong. 808s prove us wrong. Good morning, UFO. Truth so loud it glows. Hands up,
Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to the whole family, to the whole UFO family. Thank you so much for being here. We are doing all sorts of things, reaction videos, all the things. We're going to jump into that crazy clip that we just saw. I want to say hi to all the friends. We got demons here, the demon 84059. We've got Skywatch Signal. Thank you so much for retweeting this out to all of your followers. Thank you so much, Jess, for being here. Papa Jones, Ben Yorkshire, Goodbonian. Been thinking about you, dude. Thinking about you, dude. So glad you're here. Oh, and of course, we got Diane. Let's jump right away into this clip. Fascinating stuff. This is Laura Trump breaking. Laura Trump says that she heard her father-in-law, President Trump, will be making an announcement about UFOs soon. What do you think the president knows about UFOs? I hear the president has something in queue to share with all of us about that. Let's hear. This comes from, obviously, the great Red Panda Koala.
Next question. What do you or the president know about UFOs? Can you share? I hear that the president has something in the queue to share with us about all of this. Now, truth be told, I'm trying to remember how long ago it was. It may have been right after he left office, after the first term. I remember Eric being like, all right, what can you tell us? And he was a little hesitant to give us any real info, which makes me think like he's got a lot of info out there and he's waiting for the right time to drop it. And maybe this is going to be the time, because I keep seeing all these stories about how he's got some like UFO speech that he's got queued up, and we all should just kind of sit back and wait. Now, here's the thing I'll say. What do I know about UFOs? What I know is that our universe is so enormous. It actually, if I start thinking about it, it makes me a little crazy. You think about just our solar system, okay? And then you think about how many solar systems like ours are in our galaxy.
What is going on here? Anybody got any questions? This is interesting. We've got daughter-in-law of Donald Trump jumping in. Look, I got a bad freeze frame on her, but she's a beautiful one. But Donald Trump's daughter-in-law is coming out, and she's talking about how maybe we're not alone in the universe. The universe is so vast. I have been covering this for a long time, the UFO phenomenon. I still go live all the time just because I feel like it would just be this waste of knowledge and my voice, like not using it when I feel like I've known so much. And so this is a huge difference than what we seen 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Front seat for all of this, by the way. And it's coming. It's coming. I didn't believe it because there was some tweet that said that Donald Trump was going to be revealing everything about the aliens and the UFOs on the anniversary of Roswell, which to me is absolutely ridiculous. They're not going to release the aliens or the UFOs on the day of the Roswell anniversary because they're not going to tell us, guys. They're not going to tell us about Roswell and the hidden thing. I always, this sounds so bad, and I have bad, you know me. I'm very upfront. I'm very specific. And so I always like the analogy, like, yeah, what's going to happen is Donald Trump's going to come out. He's going to say that aliens exist. And that will be it. Similar to how the ex-husband marries the nanny, but he'll never admit that he cheated on the wife with the nanny. Does that make sense? I think it's a good analogy. Some people don't. Let's keep playing her talking and just being like UFOs and aliens could be there and we don't even know. We're going to jump into Donald, and then we're going to jump into Epstein files, which I thought I couldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole on YouTube, but apparently Ross Coulthard's talking about the Epstein files. Everybody's talking about the Epstein files because they are related to the UFO phenomenon. The Epstein files revealed, well, I'll show you in just a second what the Epstein files revealed. Thank you so much to all of you joining us from all the different platforms.
And then you think about how many galaxies are in this universe. The whole thing is just, it's kind of like mind-boggling. So the idea that the only form of intelligent life out there is us, that we're like twerking on TikTok and stuff, that's it. I don't know. I find it hard to believe. I fully believe that there's other life out there throughout the universe. And if you look at some of the like prophets, you know, these are people hundreds of years ago, or I don't even know how long ago. A lot of them say that sometime soon we're supposed to have some sort of an interaction with another form of life from outside of our planet. So I don't know. I fully believe there's more out there. I think it would be a heck of a.
Anybody else, like, what's this pop music we're hearing in the back? I mean, you all know I love pop music to no end. You know, I love pop music to no end. But it's interesting. We've got Donald Trump. Oh, I have to address this for sure. Natural Blonde sounds like it. You guys, I hate to break it to you. There's no such thing as like this type of blonde. I asked my hairdresser. No, like, we don't need to get into it. Female stuff. But yes, I will be naturally blonde soon too. Let's keep going. It was just the sugar pop music in the back that made me be like, wow, it's kind of like this weird brainwash technique. She's like, yeah. And it's like, da-na-na-na. The aliens are coming. Da-na-na-na. We've always known.
Waste of space. If it's just us here and we're doing like dumb challenges, and again, like
weird. Now she's quoting Contact. That's what the dad says to, you know, Jodie Foster when she's little in the movie Contact. If that's all there is, it's a waste of space, right? Okay, so now she's quoting Contact. We're ready, guys. We're ready, which brings us into some beautiful stuff because, like I said, the
I nailed it.
Like literally how all of my conspiracy friends, I almost started the show out with this because I like to start out with a little bit of humor. But I figured I'd save it for a brief moment while we're talking about all of this. Yeah, as we're talking about all of this, I think this is how a lot of UFO friends feel because the Epstein files made a lot of weird connections that we've talked about on a lot of weird peripheral information that we know about the aliens, about the like he was into 0 point energy. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna try to devote the first half of this show to the Trump announcement that I heard from an inside source with many followers, many followers, reached out to me, and maybe they're secretly in the chat, you don't know, reached out to me and told me May 1st. This was the insider information I got. Yeah, yours truly. I told you so. Trust me, bro. I got my trust me bros. I want to nail that in the chat. Amy said Trump will disclose May 1st. May 1. There. Now everyone in the world throughout time can see that this has been time stamped. All right, here's where everybody's really at right now. Let's just be honest. We're just going to be honest with the fam. This is where everybody's really at.
So, I mean, I nailed it.
I'm honest. I'm as shocked as you. Some of those were a little out there, and every single one was true. I'm honestly as shocked as you guys are.
I thought I was making some shit up back there.
I mean, I want to say I told you so, but I really just wish none of this was real at this point. I mean, it was fun when it was maybe not real, and now it's all very real. And once again, it's every single conspiracy theory is correct now. I'm just terrified. I mean, on top of all that stuff, I'm pretty sure they just confirmed aliens are real for real. So,
All right, so
I mean, I nailed it.
I'm honest, I'm as
I get some
shocked as you.
information.
Some of those were.
I just love that. I love that. My favorite part, speaking of saying that it starts May 1st, I got that insider information done. I'm not going to release any of my insider information because I don't know what I do know what I'm talking about, but anyway, the funniest part, so shout out to Skywatch Signal. Thank you so much for being here. Please disregard my prophecy. It's incorrect. But I do think that Donald Trump is on the verge of disclosing. I just don't think it's going to be on the Roswell anniversary. You don't marry the nanny and admit that you cheated on the wife with the nanny. Just saying. Here, we're going to get the next thing. I do love, my favorite part about this is he's like, I really thought I was making some shit up back there. Like, I can't tell you how much I feel that way, especially when we get into like the weird fringe. And I've got the access to this weird, I don't even know where I found it, Chat GPT AI drive that looks just like Jeffrey Epstein's email. And you can search through it like you're Jeffrey Epstein. So we'll look at that. But we're going to jump back into Trump a little bit. I'm going to play this again because it's just so great.
So,
I mean, I nailed it.
I'm as shocked as you. Some of those were a little out
we're going to get into all of it.
Every single one was true. I'm honestly as shocked as you guys are.
I thought I was making some shit up back there.
I mean, I want to say I told you so, but I really just wish none of this was real at this point. I mean, it was fun when it was maybe not real, and now it's
all very real.
And once again, it's every single conspiracy theory is correct now. I'm just terrified. I mean, on top of all that stuff, I'm pretty sure they just confirmed aliens are real for real.
I'm sorry. All right, so we're going to jump into another clip that I found.
I'm honest.
We're done with that. But that was so funny. I just feel like so many of us can relate to that. And what's going, the background. Some of the stuff that I find on the internet that people do, it's just so funny. It's so funny. Hey, what's up, Juan Torres? Welcome. Peace, love, and grand rising alien girl and the chat family. God bless you, AG111 fam. You know who I am. You know where I came from. You know what I hide. You know what I do. You know why I grow. So that we always love the live chat family. And, if we get some super chats in here, we will activate the Galactic Federation, which is our nod to the past, to our Alien Girl 111 channel that was amazing. So thank you to those who know me as Alien Girl 111. You know me better than most. You'll always be in my heart if you call me Alien Girl. So this is the White House. The Trump White House is assisting Representative Burleson in UFO disclosure. One of the asks that I've put into the White House, and I think some legitimately are trying to make happen, is a series of visits to come to these locations. I've obviously been given throughout this investigation locations that where it's reported that these materials, objects, craft, bodies, or archive exists. We have given the DOD a list in the White House, as told the DOD to make it
a list. So the White House has told one of the asks that I've put into the White House, and I think that they legitimately are trying to make happen, is a series of visits to some of these locations, right? Like I have obviously been given throughout this investigation locations that where it's reported that that these materials or objects or craft exist, or the bodies exist, or the archive exists, and we have that's where that sits. We've given the DOD a list. So the White House has told the DOD to make it happen. I mean, to Trump's credit, as a disclosure. So that's the extent at which they've been involved is literally just saying to the Department of Defense that, hey, Burleson, we're backing his request. Do what you can to make it happen. And so I'm very grateful for that. It's been very difficult to make happen.
You still got some obstruction.
Yes. So we still, I mean, it's got to go all the way down to the end of the fingertip level. And so but at the top of the DOD is doing what they can to try to organize this. And it may have to be slimmed down at the beginning. So one of the first, right now we're looking at following all of this process to have at least just myself go to one site, and at least that's what they're asking. And then once we see that process work and have figured out the path, then we'll repeat that to the other locations and include other members of Congress. But at this time, to do a scaled down visit is what we're looking at. And eventually we will go to Area 51 as one of those locations, although really just for nostalgia.
I don't know why that makes me laugh so much, but I was like, for nostalgia, you guys get to, you know what's really going on with Burleson? Burleson's just as bad as us when it comes to the UFO phenomenon. I mean, it's not fair just because he's a politician. These people make me want to become a politician just so I can be like, oh, let's just go to Area 51 for nostalgia's sake. Can I come? Can you bring the transparent UFO YouTuber who just says what she feels to tell the world? You should bring me. Take me. I want to go to Area 51 just for nostalgia.
From everyone that I've spoken to on this topic that has any kind of information, they say that that's not where the goods are not there. So there's a lot of neat things to see out there. And I think I think it's just completing the whole puzzle. It's something that we definitely have to go see. But I've been told that that's not where you're going to find the evidence.
So I have a great question in the chat from my friend Yorkshire, Ben, the Yorkshire Euphonian. Thanks you so much for being here. Amy, in all honesty, can we trust Trump? He won on releasing the files he doesn't want to. No new cars, seriously? In all honesty, do you think we can trust Trump? I think we can trust Trump more than Biden. So I'm glad you bring that up. So, okay, Biden discussing UFOs. I really, 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 really hope that we see this societal change that has happened so beautifully. This what I'm about to show you happened 4 years ago when Biden was in office. And for some reason, everybody just loves to talk so much about, I get it, left and right politics. I'm not here to get into left and right politics. I'm here to tell you intelligent ways that we see the UFO phenomenon, and who's disclosed what and how people have disclosed what. And so if we're going to look back at the Biden administration, I always thought when it comes to Biden, 3 more years of hiding. We know because of work that Anna Polina Luna has done, and a lot of people actually, more so on the right, has done a lot of work with UFOs, interdimensions, and all sorts of things. And so there's a pretty big line in the sand about where transparency is laying right now. And I do believe that, the JFK files were indeed, I think it's obvious JFK was assassinated now. I could do a video on it if you guys would like. To me, it's glaringly obvious that a CIA clique killed killed the president of the United States. It's unfortunate that we're finally here and that basically people don't care. Anyway, we're going to watch this clip just of Biden basically is saying, like, this is what we had 4 years ago when we had UFO questions. Like, take this into consideration compared to what we have now. You would not be getting a disclosure with Biden. I'm sorry to say, you would not be getting disclosure with Biden. Nor do I think you'd get I think you got a chance with JD Vance. I'm not going to get into politics at all, but I do believe that at some point the UFO community has to admit that Donald Trump is going to be the closest example of a UFO disclosure president. And I do not think you would get that with Joe Biden at all. And I don't know what other candidate in the future you think would be offering that. But let's just take a look at what you've got with Biden. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. If you're not asking me a mean one like you usually do.
It's something interesting, I think, that is not. President Obama says that there is footage and records of objects in the skies, these unidentified aerial phenomenon, and he says we don't know exactly what they are. What do you think that it is.
I would ask him again. Thank you.
Cool. You got someone laughing, running away from the podium as fast as humanly possible. President Biden's laughing and running as fast as possible. I don't like to get into politics. I try to keep it very specific with what's going on in our UFO world. So we're going to jump back into Burleson talking about it. We're going to go back into Burleson talking about it. And what we're getting in touch here is what we're going to be getting in touch here is the giant UFO that Ross Coulthart said was in the middle of somewhere, and there was a building covered over this giant UFO, and there was fights on the internet between all sorts of different people in regards to it being a legitimate claim. Moneypenny on Twitter claimed that she debunked it. Love Moneypenny, great chica, always love seeing UFO chicks in the UFO world, but I did not find her debunk effective enough. She's welcome to talk to me on a space or anything like that, but I did not find the debunk of the giant UFO being covered by a space, I didn't find that, but they're going to go check it out. These are one of the things that Trump said is going to help him check it out. And that the UFO that's too big to move could be in South Korea.
Not in this country. There is reportedly an object that is not in this country that is so large it cannot be moved. That they've built an entire building around it. And I think either Greer or another individual has actually mentioned this site, but I'm not going to mention it because it is a classified location. But there is a really apparent, there's reported a really large object, and that's one of the locations that I'm requesting to get to. It's going to involve a lot to make that happen, but that may be the final destination. There's reportedly an object that is not in this country.
I knew that you guys I knew we need comedic relief. So we're going to be moving from Epstein we're going to be moving from Trump right now to Epstein and just some other stuff. But you guys, I knew the whole UFO talk would be a lot. So let's just have a light moment where we can laugh, because we're just here to enjoy UFOs until the giant disclosure happens, which it will. I'm looking on our two streams right now. Combined, we have 100 people watching on both of the streams, vertical and horizontal. Those of you who are new and you're just finding us, which I know you probably are, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's not every day that we get this many people watching. We're constantly growing. The show's getting bigger and bigger. We're hoping to reach at least 20,000 subscribers by the end of 2026. I think we could get to 50. We'll see. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people who've been watching the show for 5 years, but like I said, thank you so much to so many of the 100 people that are watching on YouTube. We're not even counting Twitter right now. This is our moment of zen for a little bit as we move between Donald Trump possibly disclosing and Epstein files. We definitely need a comedic moment. Here you guys go.
Like I'm getting deja vu. This is like a rock war number 2. A rock war number 2. I like to look at those oil supplies. I'd be ashamed if someone invaded you. And if someone invaded you. And I ran so far away.
All right. Okay. That was just to kind of keep everybody happy, right? It's tough. This UFO stuff, it really does come down to like that clip we were watching of this guy. And he was like, I thought I was making a bunch of stuff up. Right? We should watch that again to lighten it up real quick.
I mean, I nailed it.
I nailed it.
I'm honest. I'm as shocked as you. Some of
I'm
those
as shocked
were
as you.
A little out there, and every single one was true. I'm
Every
honestly
single one of
as
them
shocked
was
as
true.
you guys are.
I thought I was making some.
I mean, I want to say I told you so, but
Honestly, I told you so, but
I really just wish none of this was real at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun when it was maybe not real, and now it's
all very real.
And once again, it's every single conspiracy theory is correct now.
Yes.
I'm just terrified. I mean, on top of all that stuff, I'm pretty sure they just confirmed aliens are real for real. So,
and I'm not gonna lie, that's totally how I feel, which is why I just keep showing you guys over and over again, because it's very, very true what everybody's feeling. But now, as we're moving into Epstein, Whew. All right. Did not think that this would be actually something going on. And it turned out there was a lot of things going on. So let's get to MK Truth Ultra on Twitter. Holy crap. This is crazy. Jeffrey Epstein was collaborating with Bitcoin developer, biohacker, and transhumanist Brian Bishop to create the first live birth of a human designer baby, and human cloning within 5 years was conducting initial experiments in the Ukraine. I also want to briefly bring up, I'm not going to show the clip, mostly because of the disgusting nature of Jeffrey Epstein in general, but a Jeffrey Epstein survivor. And like I said, I'm not gonna show the clip. I think Project Unity. I think it was Project Unity who. I think it was Project Unity, but Project Unity said that a lady who was a survivor of the Epstein cult, or the Epstein, sorry, a lady who was a survivor of Epstein said that he turned into a reptilian during one of the incidents that she had with him. A reptilian, guys. Like, we got to start looking at all this. I mean, whew, I don't even want to put some of these comments in on the screen because I don't know if YouTube can handle them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie that I don't think YouTube can handle everything that's being put up into the chat right now because, like, you guys are writing honest, legitimate things that totally have, like, it's scary. You know, I've tried to jump into this before, but I just did not think that anybody on YouTube, I didn't think it would be good. But then I saw Ross Coulthart talking about Epstein. I saw a bunch of other people on YouTube talking about Epstein. I guess we're living in different times. YouTube used to be censorship awful, awful, awful. I thought I'd be kicked off by now. Well, Ben says, Amy, Bitcoin, last I knew there was no creator of Bitcoin. Yeah, people are going through it saying it's Satoshi. It's the Satoshi, you know, I mean, Bitcoin. Sounds like you could be the first investor as long as possible. I've always envisioned there would be anonymity requirements for about babies. We can't publicly identify who they are or their parents. It would be a brand of child, a freak for life. If I had always assumed the investor would need absolute anonymity for these kinds of products, so the financial structure phase, this gets us out of our self-funded garage biology phase to the first live birth of a human designer baby, possibly a human clone within 5 years. Once we reach the first birth, everything changes the world and the species will never be the same again, which basically kind of breaks it down. Kind of breaks it down if you're really honest with yourself in a lot of ways. Creator babies. I mean, what hit the UFO community especially hard about the Epstein files? I didn't think it would, like, hit my UFO circuit. Like, I was like, there's Epstein, he's far away. But here we are. Epstein stuff super close in, rocking the UFO conspiracy world, or maybe just the conspiracy world in general, right? Maybe just the conspiracy world in general. And I want to say thank you so much to everybody who's joining us, especially on YouTube. We've got over 100 people watching on our vertical stream and our horizontal stream, which thank you so much. You guys have been here for more than 5 minutes, which is so exciting for my little UFO heart. I know every day people upload at least 1 billion videos onto YouTube, and you are here, and thank you so much for that. If you could just do me something really quickly, if you could just like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because we are here. We are ready to talk about the UFO phenomenon every weekend in the morning. We cover all of the things going on in the UFO community. Good friends with Tupa, good friends with Red Panda, good friends with Third Phase of Moon, good friends with all sorts of different people in the community. Thus, you should watch us. So we're going to be jumping into more of it. Like I said, it's a big topic, kind of a hard one for any of us to kind of get through. Oh, God. It just gets worse and worse. So we're going to jump into more. Don't you worry. I have more. We're just going to get one. The Red Panda kind of posted. Like, this is kind of the random stuff that we're finding in the Epstein files. I highly doubt he was just a UFO nut. He had deeper information. He had deeper information, and he reached out to Avi Loeb. We covered this last week. Jeffrey Epstein tried to get in contact with Avi Loeb, who's a huge person in the UFO community. Yes. Matt Park 909 says Epstein equals aliens, UAPs. What have I missed? I'm still jaded right now. How is this the E-Files? Well, let's just talk about MK Ultra. Let's talk about people waking up in laboratories and not knowing how they got there. Let's talk about, I mean, we've interviewed tons of people on this channel who have experienced a lot of this different stuff, but we're going to check out. Okay, sorry, but we're going to check this out. This is an email that was CC'd to Jeffrey Epstein. We should explore the biological consequences of time travel. It would be amusing to calculate the rate of evolution of a population for a mutant that can travel in time. Who is Jeffrey Epstein working for? I don't know, Satan? Right, guys? Like, it's tough. It's tough. Like, the truth of the matter is, everybody, we are only 30 minutes in. We have covered so much. My God. Keep it quick. But like I said, if you guys want to activate us into AG111, enter the Galactic Federation, maybe show all these people, all these 100 people watching right now, show them what's up. Show them what's up. But we want to keep the party going. Don't want to keep our friends bored here because it's still coming out as fast as we possibly can. So much information. I did some research, looking at it quite a bit this morning. On, I think it was Grok. I prefer Grok for lots of reasons. Give me one moment. Sunday morning, I got into it. It was talking with me. Okay, sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. But more than anything, we'll get to her. We're going to jump to her Epstein lab because there is a survivor of a woman who was in, here we go. And she was recently on Chris Hansen. Okay. This lady who's also been interviewed by Project Unity. So she's an Epstein survivor. And she said that when she was with him during an abusive encounter, he turned into a reptilian. So here, let's listen to some of what she has to say in terms of this more. And she woke up in a lab. And Jeffrey Epstein was working on created humans. And I'm going to touch briefly real quick on words I probably can't say. But not making babies like the good old days. Creating human babies. For what purpose? We will not talk about. Let's listen to her experience and pray for everyone that was affected by this evil man.
And we're going to get into all of this here, but it begs the question, in some ways it would be easier for you not to talk about this, to bury it, to move on with your life. Why is it so important to you to continue to speak out about this, to share the details of what you survived, what you endured because of Jeffrey Epstein?
Excellent question. Thank you, Chris. It would be easier for me to just live my life and ignore it all, but I cannot ignore it all, not when people have been murdered. I can't sit there and be happy when people have been hurt and killed. Also, those bastards hurt me so badly that I'll never be okay again after what they did to me. I'm getting better every day, but this is why I speak out against them. For people that they've hurt. They hurt me, but they've hurt others worse, and that's why I'm here speaking out.
You know, Juliet, let's go back to the beginning. How did you first meet Jeffrey Epstein? Under what circumstances? How did that all come together? It was in South Africa, correct?
Yeah. Well, what happened, Chris, is I was studying psychology at the University of Cape Town, and then I started.
We're going to get to the part where she explains that she wakes up in a lab. We got 162 people watching on Good Morning UFO on YouTube. All of my UFO dreams come true. finally coming to the show. So thank you so much to everybody who's coming to the show, joining. Please like, subscribe, put this on all over your social media. But more than anything, please subscribe. We try to do some awesome shows. They've been doing great. We're getting pushed out to the algo like nobody's business because we finally broke free, finally creating content. Yours truly, super happy. Got out. Yeah. So she woke up in a lab. So we're going to hear this Epstein survivor talk about waking up in a lab. Shortly after that, I'm going to show you where you can find the emulator that looks just like Jeffrey Epstein's Gmail, which blew my mind when I was on the spaces with Tupa. I asked him, like, what do I look for in this Gmail? And he said, just search pizza. So that's what we'll do. See what you guys think. See what you guys might not think. $20 super chat. My God. You have no idea how much that helps with our StreamYard fees. And everything else. Tons of stuff goes into Alien Girl 111 Productions. We've got all sorts of different projects that we work on, multiple channels, everything. Every little... Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're going to hear about her. And then you will activate the Alien Girl. I just don't want to. We've got a big group of people watching right now, over 150 people on both channels. Thank you so much for being here. And because of that, we'll save it to the end, but we will be dancing, broadcasting spells. Oh, me? Here we go. Love it. Gotta love the comments. I've heard them all. I've been around a while. I've got a thick skin. I'm not like, yeah, I'm cooking up the.
Go to visit.
Well, the first time I was taken there, we were there for about like 4 or 5 days. Then we went to Palm Beach. Because the thing is, they never used to tell anyone before they were like leaving. You know, they never used to like tell us the night before they were going somewhere else. They'd like basically like half an hour before they'd be like, pack your things, we're going. And then we wouldn't know where we were going because they obviously didn't want anyone knowing where they were going. And then, we went to Palm Beach. And then after that, in Palm Beach, I was taken to his office and he told me he worked with the CIA. He told me that he had my family's name on a list. And he told me that a girl accused him of rape and he planted drugs in her apartment and sent her to prison. After that, I was sent to New York and they made my hair blonde and my teeth white by Frederick Fakai, the hair salon man. And then I was sent back to South Africa and then they brought me back again. Because by that point, I was so broken. People asked, why did I go back? I didn't want to disobey this man. It was quite clear that he was going to try kill anyone who disobeyed him.
Juliet, there came a point during all this where you were at his ranch in New Mexico. And this, to me, is one of the more harrowing.
Which, guys, put a 1 in the chat if you want me to try to go to Epstein's ranch. I get bored in life. Maybe I'll roll over. I got to drill. Get in some trouble. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to see me get in trouble. I live in New Mexico. We go take an aerial. I wouldn't do that, but like maybe I'll go just for funsies, post a video.
Untold stories of the exploitation
yes,
and abuse by Jeffrey Epstein.
Thank you for the $2.
Explain to me
$5
what happened down there in terms of these experiments or medical crimes
on both channels
that he had committed against you.
Well, it's so hard to actually explain all of it but I woke up in a laboratory there with like 6 people in hazmat suits and a female doctor working on me. And
this is at, just so people know, this is at Epstein's ranch in New Mexico.
Yeah, Epstein's ranch in New Mexico.
And why were you brought there? Why did they tell you were, what did they tell you in terms of why you were going there?
Nothing. I was never told anything.
Just we're going to the ranch in New Mexico and you're coming along.
All right. New Mexico, I've always have called it the heart of alien country. I do a lot of research out here in New Mexico. Yes, so we've been doing quite a bit of things with that. So we found a lot of different posts. We have a lot of different posts that are coming out with Epstein. UFO is the perfect distraction of all. Epstein. Yes. Yes. We've got a good comment here from Twitter, which is this dancing little Trump figure. UFO disclosure is the perfect distraction for all of the Epstein drama. So maybe they'll disclose the UFO phenomenon and that we're extraterrestrials do exist in light of distracting people from the Epstein files. There is so much weird stuff that happens, which is why I don't like talking about the Epstein files. Never on my bingo card. I was covering farmers being drunk in a field, making crop circles and making awful crop circles. I was covering the hope that we would find signs like a fossil on Mars with microbial life. We have that. No one cares. We also have proof that the government killed the CIA killed JFK. No one cares. They're going to tell us aliens exist. No one will care. But yours truly has been slingshot into a reality of life that at one point was pure fantasy. Please check out my documentary, #UFO Twitter, on the main page of my channel if you want to get to know me, what I've done, who I've interviewed, why you should probably look at me as somebody who knows what they're talking about. Worked really hard to do that. My top 3 UFO, yeah. Let me see. So it's not necessarily this direct connection with UFOs, but there is discuss about his interest in all sorts of different things. His interest in time travel, his interest in just the occult in general, his interest in telepathy in autistic children. And we're going to jump into his email in just a second. Might as well just do that now. Now, this was I got to get the link from my phone. 1 second. And I spent quite a bit of hours looking through this. And I think this is a phenomenal resource. jmail.world. And it's like you're in a video game and you're logging in to Jeffrey Epstein's email. You ready to see this? There you go. We are now in a synthetic clone copy of Jeffrey Epstein's email. I'll put the link in the chat at the end of the show, but right now I want you all here because I have 150 of you. You could probably look for it, but lots of interesting emails, and on top of it, I leave Monday, like just these really weird cryptic emails, right? I'll search pizza at the end of this because to me that describes everything. And as Epstein and the elite cabal, evil group of people that are on top that now have been exposed. Something we've always talked about on this channel is the insane evil group of people on the top of where we are as average Americans, average citizens of planet Earth, and just the devastatingness, you know. Do you see his contacts? LOL. Amy, search World War III, says Ben. Let's do it. I'm nervous. You guys just tell me what to search. World War III. Please note the information may constitute. I don't know why there's always these equal signs in it. All right. So maybe some of I don't know if this is the full copy and paste. But yeah, you can look through here in his Rolodex. I hope you guys can see it pretty big on the vertical stream. Maybe not. But you're welcome to come over to the horizontal stream on my main page if you want to see the full blown up version of it. He's got Elon Musk in his contacts. Vehement alien denier is Elon Musk. It's these emails going back and forth being like, meet ya, do you want to hang out? I don't know. Peter Thiel. All these things to go hang out. I had no idea Elon wanted to hang out with him so much. Bill Gates. Crazy stuff. Let me see if yeah. So let's just jump into UFO. Let's see if anything comes up. Whoa. This was an interesting one that I actually came across this morning. Dear Sarah, Robert Evans would like to follow up call with Jeffrey and Henry about Friday regarding the UFO project. This isn't real, though. Maybe it's not. Let me know. Maybe I got my source totally jacked up. I just find things on the internet. But I think this is real. Henry has been facilitating the necessary commitments to make the UFO investment competitive for Jeffrey's involvement, and he'll be ready to articulate those developments on this call. You might be sitting here, especially if you're new to deep diving with ufology. You might wonder, well, why would there be an investment with UFOs? My friends, welcome. I'm so glad you found me. Because at one of the biggest UFO investments on the planet, the SALT conference, where the richest people in the world go to meet up to talk about investments, it's a $2,000 VIP. It's a $2,000 conference ticket. That's the minimum charge to go to this conference for investors. And now, why would investors be talking about UFOs? You're like, why do we have this? This is why the Jeffrey Epstein files have shaken up the UFO world. There's all these pieces in the Jeffrey Epstein files that are suddenly getting ufologists and all sorts of people excited to see these connections. Why would he have an investment in the UFO phenomenon? Well, maybe because this is what Carl Nell said at the SALT conference. Maybe we'll just do it right from the beginning. Is this the original one? Yeah.
I'm very excited to discuss what I consider to be one of the most consequential questions of our lifetime, which is, are we alone in the universe? And I'm very lucky to have Carl Nell here joining me for this conversation. Carl, thank you so much for coming. And Anthony and AJ over at SALT, thank you so much for hosting this. So Carl, maybe to begin, can you share a little bit about your background, who you are, and perhaps why people should care what you say?
Sure. Well, thanks, Alex. It's a pleasure and honor to be here. It's a fantastic event, and I'm glad to see a large bunch of folks that stuck it out to the end for this talk. So I was fortunate. I had a 4-year ROTC scholarship to Penn. I graduated with a degree in electrical engineering. The Army sent me overseas to do signal corps engineering projects. So I did a lot of strategic comm projects in Europe. I ended up working in Army Space Command. I commanded a satellite ground station, war trace to the Joint Chiefs. I spent some time at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The Army ultimately sent me to get a master's in mechanical engineering, a master's in strategic studies, graduate work in computer science. I was on track to stay in, but I decided that I wanted to pursue more of a technical career. So I got out and ended up working at Bell Labs, which was a fantastic place. Unfortunately, I was there during the trivestiture that folks may be familiar with, where the company got split up. I left Bell Labs and ended up working in Lockheed Missiles and Space. I worked at Northrop Grumman. I've ran strategic technology programs in the defense industry, worked for a lot of the 3-letter agencies, ultimately was a deputy chief of staff or deputy CTO for a $2 billion company. I was a vice president general manager of a Northern Virginia-based R&D firm. I stayed in the military, in the reserve. I commanded at every grade level through brigade. I was fortunate to stand up the Army's newest expeditionary MI brigade. I was the deputy chief of staff for a combatant command. Ultimately, this experience—
Those of you who are really tired of hearing how amazing he is and how, like, the reality of is you need to hear this. The reputation on this man makes what he's going to say next blows everybody's mind. And I want you to hear the audible gasp, because you guys might be sitting here, Amy, why are you showing me something in Jeffrey Epstein about a UFO investment, which, by the way, and it is real. I'll show you all in a bit. We had some questions in the chat that said, I don't think that what you're looking at is real, Amy. It is. That's what it's designed to look like. Yes. But these are real emails. This is not fake emails. These are real. So we can get the cross reference on that. I can confirm that for you in just a bit. But I do want you guys to see this. The whole point is to show you that UFOs and investments is a true thing. People preparing for the economic concern about what's happening when we release the UFOs. Bitcoin's down. Isn't that interesting? Bitcoin's weird. Yes, we're not going to get into the Bitcoin thing, but it's something to know. As things change, why is there a squeeze for money? Bitcoin's down. There's a lot of weird things going on.
This experience sort of combined to give me the opportunity to come in and advise Army Futures Command, the largest reorganization in the Army Reserve since really 1973, on how the Army could be more effective. And my last assignment was involved with the UAP task force, which maybe is the most apropos for this discussion.
And so, Carl, here's the $1 million question. Do you believe that a higher form of non-human intelligence has visited this planet?
Right. So non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new, and it's been ongoing. And there are unelected people in the government that are aware of that.
And so, Carl, that is
Did you guys
quite
hear
a
the
bold
audible
statement.
response? I think you can hear it. Not as much as I can hear it and the other ones.
I'm wondering, and I'm curious, how confident are you that that is true?
There's zero doubt.
And Carl, what evidence have you seen? What was the moment where you developed this level of conviction? Because what you're saying is extremely consequential and very important. And I know that a lot of people here even perhaps may not believe that statement.
Right.
All right. So we're going to go back. The big question and the things that we're trying to highlight here personally is the things were going on in the Epstein files are key. Now, time travel. We looked at the one that, but this is what you get of, whoa. Yeah, so this is what you get when things have just been going insane. All these crazy emails going on. All these crazy. So let's do time travel. Let's see what comes up for time travel. We're gonna do quote. Hopefully it works that way. Time travel. What? So this comes from Martin Nowak. Seth, we should explore the biological consequences of time travel. It would be amusing to calculate the rate of evolution of a population that we showed this one. Weird things in it about time travel we should explore. Also telepathy. He was even talking to Uri Geller. He was, I just saw this morning on Ross Coulthart that Jack Sarfati was talking to Jeffrey Epstein, which is just too close to my UFO world for me to like. And I'm kind of like, on Jack Sarfati, because Jack Sarfati calls everyone an idiot, including me. He called me an idiot, a schmuck. Let me be specific. He told me I was unintelligent and that I knew nothing. Fascinating, right? So when you have somebody tell you that you know nothing, and then someone like Jack Sarfati tries to tell everyone in the world that he got a call from extraterrestrials when he was 10 years old, and that we're supposed to believe that when it comes to Jack Sarfati. But everyone else is an idiot, and we're supposed to believe that he was contacted by extraterrestrials as a child to be part of this huge government thing. Neither here nor there. This was so much stuff to look at. This came from Deepak. This was a message between a lot of different people. Deepak's on it. A few weeks ago, I was at the Salk Institute's conference, Extraordinary Variations. I've been working with Diana Powell and Deepak Chopra, studying telepathy in autistic children. This is wild. Let's make it bigger so the vertical stream people can see it. I think that's better. Can you guys see that? Studying telepathy. This is time-stamped on July 11th, 2017. So this was over 9 years ago, and this is something that's come out in the last 2-3 years in the UFO, because a lot of people in the UFO we think like psychically the UFOs could be people are telepathically communicating with extraterrestrials all the time. I've interviewed tons of people who are communicating with extraterrestrials all the time. Look, we have Tracy from daycare. Tracy from daycare saying ETs have communicated with me. There's like all these starseeds, right? That are coming out and saying I'm making active communication. They told me humans are so proud of all their knowledge of the world, but they haven't figured out how to live it. Yeah. And are these just spiritual connections that we have with these ET? We also have Gina Cell 11 saying, I'm autistic. I don't have powers. I'm just smart. Right? I have weird dreams. Strangely. I'm not going to get into the weird, my friend, but we did pull this in our message this morning. We also do some fun stuff with the UFO fam. Listen to what you hear in your dreams completely. Matt Park 909 says, I totally expected that. Isn't it obvious? Dude, not to me. Having a source that correlates to what and corroborates all the things that you're trying to prove and stuff, gets insane. It gets insane. So I'll give you guys the link to this. Not savant syndrome. I mean, this is just too much. And to end our Epstein talk, we're just going to put one word in the search and see what emails were sent about pizza and what they looked like. Not this one. Pizza in general. This isn't the one. Volume 9 is now browsable, so they keep putting them in, which is cool. Sent. Maybe they took out all the pizza ones. This is not the only pizza one. I searched pizza. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Here, we'll refresh. Pizza. Maybe they took them all out. There we go. This comes from an unknown. That immediately pops up. Alert. Order pizza for Bobby Slayton. May 25th, 2017. Patsy's Pizza Harlem. The Pizza Monster. The subject of this is read the Pizza Monster. She looks pregnant. You mean radiating a glow with the look of bliss and excitement? Yeah, that's the pizza. We've got Dange, Fish, Deepak, Ramen. There were a lot of weird emails in the Jeffrey Epstein files that are like, what's the best way to describe this? It's almost like they're talking in code. Look at this. So when you look up pizza in this drive, things get real weird. I mean, there is some discussion about pizza or whatever. But Friday night, we're going out. I need to make plans. Okay, do you want pizza? All you have to do is look through these emails and see that they were written to be as generic as possible. Can I talk to Sanjay, owner of Golf Unlimited? If yes. The other interesting thing that I think was found were the emails he responded to, which you're starting to see there were more. A lot of them were to Maxwell. I don't know. Maybe it is just pizza. Maybe it is just pizza. No, we're not going to do that. They're not gonna. I'm not looking up some of these things in the channel. But like I said, I like to keep it light. And while we're preparing to get out of here, I am gonna put on something funny. That was the correct why. It's jmail.world is how you can access that. I'll put that down into the link in the description so you guys can review it later. But that being said, we're gonna end with just some funny stuff, things that make us laugh, because we really are truly now at this point that it's all real. And we're going to play some of the funny stuff I found. Thank you so much to everybody who's hung out with me. It's like so beyond exciting right now for me to see over 100 people in the vertical stream on this. It's all my dreams come true. And hopefully it looks just like this next week when we go, because we are getting tons of subscribers. We are. The reality is that they're just coming from the vertical streams, guys. It's the new way. Makes sense. Makes sense. I'm always on my phone, dude. I get it.
So, I mean, I nailed it.
I'm honest. I'm as shocked as you. Some of those were a little out there, and every single one was true. I'm honestly as shocked as you guys are.
I thought I was making some shit up back there.
I mean, I want to say I told you so, but I really just wish none of this was real at this point. I mean, it was fun when it was maybe not real. And now it's
all very real.
And once again, it's every single conspiracy theory is correct now. I'm just terrified. I mean, on top of all that stuff, I'm pretty sure they just confirmed aliens are real.
For real.
So,
I mean, I nailed it.
I'm honest. I'm as shocked as you. Some of those were a little out there, and every single one was true. I'm honestly as shocked as you guys are.
I thought I was making some shit up back there.
I mean, I want to say I told you so, but.
And I ran so far away. Feel like I'm getting deja vu. This is like a rock war number 2. A rock war number 2. I like to look at those oil supplies. I'd be ashamed if someone invaded you. And if someone invaded you. And I ran so far away. From them night and day. But this for USA. A drone appears above your head. A mower bomb comes falling down on you. Falling down on you. The fleet is moving nearer still. The Strait of Hormuz, it comes in view. The oil must flow through. And I ran so far.
A thank you out there to all of these subscribers, all of the people who help this channel grow and get better every single day. We have gone straight to the top on this stream. We have gone straight to the top. We reached over 200 people watching the stream on both our vertical and our horizontals, and it has been fabulous. Not only that, but we have been activated into the Galactic Federation, which is always when we have our throwback back to the old time alien girl. Flubber Lane is here. Sometimes we just chill. But we're getting out of here slowly. But I gotta say thank you so much for watching my show. Thank you so much for supporting me, man. UFO disclosure is happening. The aliens are right around the corner. And we have started to integrate the old intro back into the show. So I think it's this one. Here you go. This is our old outro. And then I just say good morning UFO at the end. If you guys missed it, if you guys missed the old outro, I kind of did. I'm not going to lie. Stick around, stick around, stick around. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on all of your social media. I figured it out, guys. We had 100 people in the chat this morning. Yes, we did. Because how did you get here? Seriously. How in the hell of the YouTube algorithm did you manage to find yourself here? Because we are broadcasting here live and alive in the middle of the desert, in the heart of alien country. And one day it's all gonna come out. UFOs, the Epstein files, Trump kind of coming out on the stage and being like, aliens are real. And they're gonna say, you know what they're gonna say, guys? They're gonna say that they always knew. Yes, they will. You know, you're gonna say, no, man, I knew. Because I was listening to all of my podcast friends. And I was also